Hi, 2020 may bring to mind many different things for you. It certainly has been an interesting year. But today we're looking at 2020 from the perspective of having clear vision. So many times we look at our finances from a place of rose-colored or dark-colored glasses. But today we're going to help you see your finances more clearly, to have 2020 vision by planning for your future, by budgeting your money. So before we get started into the particulars of our topic, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Shantel Sonier. I graduated from LSU in 1996 from the College of Business. I have a degree in accounting. I passed the CPA exam in the end of 1996 and officially became a CPA in 1997. So I've been practicing for over 20 years. So when the LSU Alumni Association started this Adulting 101 virtual series, I was super excited to sign up and be able to share my love for numbers and accounting with you today. So let's take a look at how we began to plan for our futures, to take that step from being recent college graduates into stepping into adulthood and maybe having a real job for the first time. So let me do a little screen share here and pull up my PowerPoint. So I mentioned that my name is Shantel and I've been a CPA for over 20 years. And today we are focusing on having 2020 vision about our finances. So just an easy start. So many times we say, I have no idea where to get started with my finances. What does that mean? And a lot of times you'll hear, let's track your spending. What are your goals? But as new graduates, I'm taking the perspective of more like maybe this is the first time that you have some money at your disposal, or maybe you haven't had a real job before. And so you really don't know where to get started or what to expect. So basic things, we start with income. How do we create our budget? We start with the dollars that we're bringing in. And so I found something that was pretty cool, that the average salary for an LSU graduate is $54,800. And so that certainly has come up from the time that I graduated, of course, time value of money and inflation, but it was good to see that that's a decent number. So if we ping back, we look at it from a couple different perspectives. We're going to take that number and look at it from not only an annual, let's say we're making $55,000 a year, but what does that mean by the month? Because a lot of our bills are going to come in and be monthly expenses. And sometimes we're going to look at that from a paycheck perspective, to really help us get an overall understanding of what's coming in the door, or what's landing in our checking accounts or our bank accounts on a semi-monthly basis. So when I say paycheck, I've made the assumption that you're going to be paid twice a month. And so you're bringing home those dollars. That's based on your gross salary. And so if you're working for the first time, you may not realize that taxes are going to come out of that check. So the gross is not the net that's going to end up in your account. And this is a hard thing to take when you receive a bonus, because regular checks per se, you get used to it. But when you receive a bonus, let's say your boss says, oh, we're having Christmas bonuses this year, you'll receive $500. And when you get the check, it's not $500. So that's part of being an adult and realizing that happens. So we look at it from that perspective. So That's the payroll taxes that will come out of your check, the Social Security and the Medicare, and then also the income taxes. So I just did an estimate of $5,000 for income taxes. If you'd like to try to get something a little more accurate, you can go to the IRS's website, which is www.irs.gov, and go to their tax withholding estimator, answer some questions, and they'll help you estimate what your tax bill will be. You may have heard that a lot of us work until April just to pay our tax bill, part of being an adult. So those dollars come in. A lot of times your paycheck will also be reduced for health insurance, just depending on that setup with your employer. And so I just made an estimate there of $300. Sometimes the employer will pick up half. So, but the point of this is a template to help you get started. And I'll give you my email at the end if you'd like to put this in so that you can do it yourself. But at LSU, I believe they still teach ISDS, and you will, maybe you're already savvy in Excel and you can put this together yourself. Excel is my friend. So anyway, we get here and we have our new jobs. So we have this income coming in. We've taken care of these deductions. Now we have our net check. And so from here, I bounce back into 2020 and what I also call the 80-20 rule. And so that we spend 80% of our dollars on expenses and discretionary items, but we pay ourselves 20%. And the 20% we pay ourselves is for different things like emergencies, just savings as far as a long-term goal. Maybe you want to buy a house or have a big wedding in the future, and also investments and 401ks. So when I talked about the deductions that come from your check, that 401k is going to be in there as well, but it's kind of a cycle thing in that we want our savings. We want to look at 20% of our savings. So when we get down to what's available for expenses, you'll still be in the same place. It's just that it will be coming out of that net check instead. But we want to pay ourselves. We want to invest in our futures. And this is a good way to do that. It's also part of what I was talking about, where we start at the top with our income instead of actually tracking what we spend. We're looking at it from more of being in control of our finances and truly seeing what they are, proactive instead of reactive. Also, that little nest egg. So the other side of that 80-20 rule, and I call it the 80-20 rule, but we can split that even further into the 50-30 rule. And so when we do that, we have moved now from our net check and our savings to what we have available for expenses. And the kind of things that fall into our 50% is housing and food, utilities. And as a new graduate, a lot of times we will look at student loan debt. So unfortunately, we have that debt. Some of us have that debt coming out of school. The fortunate part is you were able to graduate and move forward, and now you have a job and you're working. You'll be able to work towards paying that off. Something that I found, and this is not particular to LSU, but average student debt runs between $15,000 and $29,000, which will cause that monthly payment you see there on the screen for about 10 years. And so in the budget that I have set up, I have a student loan amount of $225 a month. So if you're fortunate enough not to have that on your budget, cha-ching, the number down for discretionary just got larger for you. And so that's what we look to next. And that's how that 50-30 rule comes into play. 50% to our needs, and then the 30% to our wants. And those are the things that we do want, the fun stuff, right? The entertainment, the hobbies. And that's the stuff that I was talking about where, we really want to look at our finances from a proactive instead of a reactive, like where is all my money going, right? We don't want to run into the case of putting our wants before our needs. True adults, adulting. So that brings us to the idea of the discretionary and having that discretionary. So that idea, right? And how it all plays together. So that being said, it is planning for your spending, and the AICPA, which is the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, has put together a website, 360 Degrees of Financial Literacy. So if you do need help, if you find that you are in more of that reactive place, that you don't know where your money is going every month, this may be a good place for you to go and check out some ideas. And even if you are having, you do know where your dollars are going, they have some cool articles like how to save money when hosting a party, and also renting versus buying, just different little topics that you may find of interest as you invest in yourself and your finances. As part of that idea of rose-colored glasses too, I'm going to say when you sit down to really think about this stuff, be honest with yourself. It's so easy to have the rose-colored glasses, know your personality. So if you tend to be reactive, set yourself up so that you will have the right tools to make this work in your favor. And what I mean by that is if you know you have a tendency to spend, once you figure out what your discretionary number is, put that in a separate account. And that's the account that you go out and you have your fun with, or, you go shopping, or whatever it is that's in your want category. And leave all the bills in a separate account, so that you can have fun and really enjoy yourself. No one wants to be out there, in this really great environment, and at the back of your mind you're thinking, I'm never going to be able to pay for this, or I'm not going to have enough money for my rent by the time this is all said and done. Again, that idea of stepping into the shoes of an adult and making those choices that are sometimes difficult, that require commitment and discipline and hard work. But I know that you have all those things because you are a graduate, and graduating from college takes all of those things. It takes hard work, commitment, and dedication. And so you can easily convert the skills that you had from being a graduate into having good money management. So this website, if you are interested in going out and looking for it, is 360 Degrees of Financial Literacy, and you can find that at 360financialliteracy.org. And so that kind of wraps it up for me. If you're interested in the template that I talked about, I'm at goyoga@hotmail.com, and that's, you say yoga, what I thought you were a CPA. Well, actually I'm both. I'm a yoga teacher and I practice yoga. Sometimes I go by the hashtag balancing gal because I do a lot of balancing. But money management can be stressful, finances can be stressful, and we all need to find some outlet to relieve those stresses. So even when we make good choices about our money management, we still need an outlet. So get in touch with me. I'd love to hear from you. I wish you all the best in your journey as you make your way into the workforce, and becoming an official adult. Congratulations. So proud of your work and your dedication. Go Tigers!